Recording in progress.
Go ahead, Mike.
All right, well, this is our UMM meeting. It's March 22nd, 2026, and I think we're ready to go. First thing I want to try is a little opening prayer. Normally Larry does it, but he can't make it, so I just want to ask you, Lord, to take care of Larry, who's up in Austin, and take care of Charles, who had to go to New Orleans because of death in his family, and watch over Mike and his mother, Mike Christensen and his mother. And for those of us that are here, give us the wisdom and the understanding to strengthen UMM and strengthen our church. Amen.
Yeah.
All right. I don't have the minutes because Charles didn't give it to me. Our youth event that we were going to do a dinner on the 27th. It has been rescheduled to July 24 and 26. So we're off the hook there. And then we're going to talk about chili updates. Robert, do you have something you want to give us? And normally you're good with the numbers.
We, attendance-wise, we had 12 single and 24 family. Few donations, total of $381 in cash and a couple on credit card. So, and with the donations, we brought in a expected total of 471.
Whew. All right.
And it's interesting, I recorded the number of votes that we got, but I don't have the name of the No Beans winner who got the 12 votes.
Oh,
The
Eller.
popular vote.
Jim Eller.
Who?
Believe it was Jim Eller.
Okay.
Sort of a tall guy, blondish hair, two little
I don't
kids.
remember. I know that was the number one, and number two was a No Beans Mild, who got 9 votes.
Yeah, so we had Eric Arnold took one of those. I think he had the no beans. I think Jim had the beans, and then Charles Olmsted got the overall.
Mm-hmm.
With a funny thing,
Yeah.
everybody said, "What is this? And what makes it untraditional or not traditional?"
It's some
You
kind of
know?
jalapeno or something in there.
Yeah, what is this?
Kimchi.
Kimchi.
And that is
And red
cabbage,
Korean
right?
pepper.
Cabbage or something?
Yeah, it's a cabbage that sometimes they bury it in the ground and ferment it.
Yeah.
And then it was red Korean chilies.
Mm.
And oh my gosh, everybody loved it.
I believe it's
that's
We had what, 11 or 12 entries or something, right? How many?
we had 11
Yeah.
11 entries that finalized.
Yeah.
And the information I had here for first and second, that was the popular vote based on people putting tickets in. It was not the judges' vote.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And we, ticket-wise, a family blue ticket counted for 2 votes for that particular.
Right.
And we still had some people who showed up, and I said, okay, make sure that you keep the one that says keep this ticket,
Yeah.
keep this receipt, and you put the other one in the cup.
Right.
We still had some others show
Put
up
the
there,
roll.
so I didn't count them. They were double votes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Anyway,
Well, thank you. That's good. you know, we already had a sort of a discussion about
I
that.
didn't know it was on
No,
the
don't
agenda
worry
here. I
about it.
apologize. I didn't want to make sure that I said
You
some
don't
kind
have to
things because it
apologize.
really was good.
Yeah.
Especially number 8 and number 9, my personal favorites.
Yeah.
And it turned out the guy who was sitting right next to me, that was his. He didn't say a word until he got up to accept his reward.
Oh, Eric.
Award. And I-
Is it Eric?
Eric, right?
Yeah.
Eric
It was
Arnold.
great chili.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's some good stuff.
It was good.
Huh.
And I just couldn't believe when you looked out over the gym, people were just yakking and talking and laughing all over the place.
Right.
Yeah, really, really good.
Good stuff.
Anything else on chili? Okay, Habitat for Humanity. Trying to think here, I lost my thoughts. But once again, Larry normally does this. This church has a pretty good tradition of participating in Habitat. I believe this is the 40th year. And to the point that back in the day, this was the first church that was able to finance a home completely on our own. Nowadays, you know, it takes 2 or 3 of them to get together because, you know, homes are what? $253? I don't know. I mean, you know, pretty expensive. But
$250,000.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what they.
What I mean,
It's over 100,000 cost, I believe.
Yeah.
oh, guess it depends on what goes into it. But I mean, for a bare bones home, I wouldn't think it would be that much.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I just, like I said, Larry normally does this. I just
Well, I know the
threw out a
expenses have
number.
gone up because they have to have more, because of different rules and stuff, they have to have more and more done by contractors.
Yes.
The less can be, limited stuff can be done by the volunteers, but lots of things have
Okay.
to be,
All right.
Yeah.
have to be done by contractors for code and other, you know.
Insurance. Exactly.
Yeah,
Yes.
and other reasons, so
Yeah.
that raises the cost. And of course, materials have gone up
Oh, yeah.
considerably and everything else.
Yeah, I was at Lowe's yesterday. I know the cost has gone up.
Yeah.
So, 2 years ago, we had one person show up to work at Habitat. Last year, we didn't have any. Larry and I normally buy lunches on our assigned day, and we take the lunches down, and we used to get like 35, and I mean, there wasn't really anybody to feed last time. So, hopefully, our good friend Chris has come up with a solution. You want to work on that for us?
Work on a solution?
Your helping hands?
Sure, sure.
Thank you. Just tell them what you want, what's on your mind, how you want to
Oh,
work
okay.
down
Tied the two.
there. And,
So Mike and I talked a little bit about seeing if we could, as far as just a baseline of getting people out there active, is a combination of two things. Reach out to the Helping Hands volunteers and say, hey, this is something that the church has participated in the past and we've fallen off of, and we'd like to, have a better year. So see what we can do to get volunteers from Helping Hands plugged into it. And then 2, Nate and the youth. So coordinate with Nate about getting, which I think in the past it has been something the youth has been invited to, but it just has fallen a little bit flat. So a little bit more proactive, I guess, work there, tying the youth volunteers and Helping Hands volunteers together. And then I'm sure, and I don't know, do you know, Mike, like who for the church overall, who's leading the initiative, charge, so to speak, or is anyone leading the sort of just communicating to the church? I mean, is
Mark
it going to
Harrington.
go? Mark
Harrington is leading.
Okay, so maybe working together with him, Mark Harrington.
Yep.
I thought
Name's
the
familiar,
youth
I don't
were,
know.
thought the youth were encouraged to participate in the Habitat for scholarship credits,
You're right.
but I don't know if that's being monitored or not.
Well,
I think it's mainly a communication issue. I mean, I'm not saying it's not getting communicated, but I think it's like, it's not getting communicated in the way that, stays on top of reminding people this is what's going on. And it probably is messaged, but it may be messaged once in kind of a weak way. That's my guess. I haven't been there for the communication or whatever. So things to be worked on. So it says, or what, do we have a date for it at this point in time?
no, that's up to
Oh, Mark's still working on that.
Well, and you're with Helping Hands. You're
Okay.
sort of the ramrodder there,
Okay.
and when your group could get together. And I think it'd be great, even if even some of us older fellas, we all came down there and had our shirts on
Sure.
and worked for a day.
Right.
I mean,
I agree.
Been there, done that.
yes, I know,
Mhm.
and I understand.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think, we have this leadership role. And the way we do that is by getting out and doing things and showing folks who we are and we're here for service to the church.
Right.
I'm trying. I hope so.
Not only to the church, but the church to the community.
Yes. Yeah, with
A lot of it is
Habitat.
packaging. A lot of it is, as you say, Chris, the communication aspect. And if
I agree.
communication needs to be bolstered or done in a different way or different channels, and maybe that is something to consider.
I think I'm going to say there was a disruption, with Isabel leaving and then Nate coming in, and probably there was some time period for adjustment and all. So to sort of avoid that, next year, whoever's an officer or something then, may just have to take it on responsibility on ourselves and go to the Wednesday night meetings for the youth and
Right.
just ask Nate for 3 minutes to talk about our program and booster it and get it going.
Sure. I think there was also disruption on like Mark, for instance, whoever was in that role leading it for the church. I could be wrong, but I think that kind of shuffled around, and so there's a combination of just not having, I don't think anybody truly out there leading and communicating, and other than just asking Dan or somebody to say it in front of the church, I don't think there's anybody behind that pushing it. I could be wrong.
No, I think
For
you're
a
right.
year or two.
Remember there was a gentleman named Charles that used to
Mhm.
be at the table all the time trying to sign folks up. Well, for some reason he's going to a different church. So yeah, that probably caused an issue. And hopefully we can refocus. Speaking of that, go ahead.
Sorry, he's going, for some reason he's going to another church. Has anyone reached out to him?
Oh,
Know
yeah.
Exactly why?
I could be wrong, but I think he and Mary Jane,
Yeah.
they divorced and went.
They divorced.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we have talked to him, and he said it would just be uncomfortable.
Is this it?
Hey, there he is. Mark, we were just
How you
talking
doing?
about you, brother.
I hope so.
Grab a seat over there.
That's
Come
how I
on.
woke up.
All right, well,
Welcome.
I had asked Mark to come in and talk about Habitat.
Well, I'm gonna
perfect
get some
timing.
papers to read.
We're on your agenda item.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. I didn't know we had any.
Nothing like putting you on the spot as soon as you get here.
Tim,
Right.
let me have that one. Oh, you got here. Shoot that over.
No, I got it.
Here's an agenda for you. Here's a pen if you need one.
Thank you. I like your style.
All right, dude. Tell us a little bit of our relationship with Habitat.
Well, it's been a long one. I give this to you and you can read it. gives you a history
Oh,
from 2001 to today. So if y'all want to look at this, or I can leave it out there. Larry printed a bunch of this stuff out, and we've been kind of in, I don't want to say turmoil, but trying to figure out how we're going to move on to the rest of this year, because we can't get anybody out there.
right.
Um,
All right.
So, okay, where do you want me to start?
Well, just give us like sort of a overview of it, and our association with the church, and how we can incorporate that into telling a story to get folks to come out.
Okay. Well, Habitat, I think most people know Jimmy Carter was say father of that, and 1981, I think there was a couple. Yeah, 1981 was the first house that was built, and then CHUMC was the one who they did that particular house. Many times when we're trying to build a house, there'll be several churches, and they'll group us into what they call an ecumenical center. Where is that? You guys are gonna have to bear with me, man. I just woke up.
Okay. All right.
If I remember, it's the Ecumenical Genesis was the
That's
group
what it-
name
yeah.
that I could keep remembering.
That's what it is. Yeah, it started out, let's see, Methodist Cluster, and then 2011, 2005, they changed it to Ecumenical Genesis.
What kind of participation did we used to have?
Our church built a house all by itself one
Right.
year.
Yeah.
The rest of the years, we get grouped with other Methodist ministries, and some further up north. If I can find a name. No. Anyway, we get together with other churches, and we either supply money and workers, or one or the other,
Okay.
and both.
Do we normally do it in the fall, or what time of year have we
We
historically?
start fundraising in May,
Okay.
and somewhere between the end of May and June, they will start selecting a family. They have a process people have to apply to get into a house. If they're accepted, then we get selected to help a family out.
When's the building normally
The building
start?
starts in September.
Okay, September.
Fundraising starts in May. And that's when we do the hard hats here, and ask. Usually we'd come up. Mostly Larry would bring up a sign-up sheet.
Right.
When I told Charles that I would help him out because Larry was trying to step down,
Yeah.
I couldn't take it on completely because
Yeah.
of other issues.
Right.
I get distracted.
All right.
We had 6 people sign up to come down and help out on a weekend.
Uh-huh.
We had another youth group scheduled to come out, didn't show up.
Yeah.
Year before that, youth group was supposed to come out on the what we call, it's the last day, and everybody gets together, all the workers, all the
Right.
churches, and kind of pastors get up and they talk about their families, and the families are introduced.
Sure.
And it's pretty wild. It'll bring you back to earth. And we try to tell people to sign up on their website, and you go through, you hit a link, you go in, sign some, I guess you check on a box, sign some waivers.
Yeah.
You'll have
Yeah.
to sign them when you get there anyway.
Right.
but the main thing is it's been trying to get the people out there,
Right,
and we've gotten no one out.
right.
You know, we get them, they sign up, we call them up, yeah, I'm gonna help, and then they don't come out.
Chris, he missed your little bit about helping hands. Why don't you just quickly go over
So
that?
Mike had visited with me and asked, I'm not sure if you're familiar, but we are very new, started this year, a group called UMM Helping Hands. And it's a group of volunteers to help members of the church that need just an extra hand around the house, essentially, simply stated. But Mike had suggested we try to tie the two together, get a combination of the Helping Hands volunteers plugged into this, but also youth, because we haven't had the right opportunity come up. But one of the thoughts we've had with the Helping Hands ministry is when it's appropriate, try to bring the youth into certain opportunities and tie the two together to volunteer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, that's something as you do your work and plan it out. Happy to work with you and see what we can do to tie those together.
All right, I
That'd be
like that.
great, yeah.
I like that.
Wouldn't that be good? And in the same vein, you had mentioned money. Well, we, as a group, UMM, is discussing a barbecue. And I was talking to Pastor Dan, and here's what's developing, and I need to know if you guys are on board. He agrees that we can have a barbecue out here in the parking lot. Young lady in my Bible class has a friend across the street who does barbecues, and he hauls a trailer, and he's very good at it, and he doesn't charge anything. All we'd have to do is supply the food and all. Well, Dan got attached to that and liked the idea, and now he's decided that, you know, we're going to try to put music into it, and you know, have a night during the night or day, whenever it is, that I'm sure we have a lot of talented people in the church,
Yeah.
and they can come up and, you know, do a little music thing and sing and make a festival out of it. Now, from UMM's point of view, we would take the money. Of course, we'll pay our expenses as always. But then we would donate the money to Habitat. And we just need to roll that around, man, and final decision doesn't have to be today, but, you know, I'd like at least an indication if, you know, folks thought that was a good idea, Ted or Robert, or, you know, please speak up.
I like the idea. I mean, we talked about having a barbecue. I guess the music is new, and I think so long as there's the right person to orchestrate that, I guess, and coordinate it, that's a nice addition. But I mean, we had talked about having a barbecue, and when we had the one before, it was very successful.
Yeah.
Can't remember. It was just to have, I think.
Just to have, that's all. Yeah.
So I think if we, you know, make sure people know that we're doing this, but we're also, you know, funding or helping fund Habitat Humanity, that'll even bring more participation, hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah. Yeah, and you know, I don't know what we would cook, but we have our small grills that we've used. Well, I say small, they're very big, but we used last time, and we could do hamburgers and hot dogs, and then this gentleman could do maybe, you know, chicken or beef or whatever we think about.
And Eric helped us with chili last time, and
Oh
that was
my
very
gosh.
popular. So
Yeah, well,
if he could do that again, that would be,
Yeah, we had chili.
particularly now that he's I guess he already was an award-winning, but now he's a two-time award-winning.
He's the man.
Yes,
So,
I like your ideas.
All right.
I would like to offer some suggestions as well.
sure,
You
sure.
mentioned the music, people getting up and singing, perhaps having more on the lines of karaoke. That would be something.
Well, that's funny. Yeah, I,
Um,
I could see that.
that. And also, as far as funding Habitat for Humanity,
Yeah.
that certainly is one option. But one other suggestion, and this might actually be more in line, Chris, with what you were talking about, which would have more presence, more direct impact as far as the community is concerned, would be actually to help fund your Helping Hands initiative, because that would have a direct impact for people not only in the community but also for the church. Just a suggestion. I'm not saying yay or nay. I'm just saying explore your options.
Well, if we're successful, we could do both.
You could.
Right.
You know, and nothing
Yeah,
says
nothing wrong with saying Helping Hands and Habitat. And
yes.
Then we can decide afterwards how much goes, and if, you know,
Right.
give the priority to Habitat, but yeah, no, I agree.
I know you record live video. It's like being down at the city at a meeting.
Yeah. Right.
I agree with your statement that Helping Hands is just starting out, right?
Right.
Since Habitat for Humanity has been around 40, 50 years,
Right.
we're still going to get our money that people normally donate. And we try to get upwards of $15,000.
Right.
So I would agree. You use some of that money to start your Helping Hands, but it's not all of it.
Okay. I mean, this is
And I tell people, if you want to donate to Habitat for Humanity,
right.
two ways to do it. You can write, or you can donate to Habitat here,
Mm-hmm.
but then when I try to get a check cut to Habitat, I have to call up here,
Yeah.
put it in writing, then I have to wait for it to go to Rio conference, and that takes about a month to go through Rio conference, and then it ends up at Habitat for Humanity.
Well.
And what we get out of that is delayed funds,
Yeah.
but we get a little certificate or a plaque that says 5-star, something like that.
Yeah.
But we can't do anything about it. We've already tried.
I understand. Sometimes it takes them a while to get
Yeah.
it going.
But I really like that idea of the Helping Hands.
Okay. Well, let's keep this in mind and move forward as we.
This kind of, Dan, was the kind of like an open microphone night where anybody could come up and do something? Was that the idea?
Well, you know, it was in the early stages because I was calling Dan about the barbecue. I wanted permission to do it out there. And then he said, "Oh yeah, boy, we could add music." And I said, "Well, I mean, Dan, you know, you're the man, so if
Bring
you
the
want
banjo, let's go.
yeah, you know." And
Dan, if you want music, get Matt involved and we'll have music.
well,
That's true.
that's what he said.
Yeah.
You know, he said, "Well, maybe we can get Matt up there, and then we could get sort of open it up to the church, and other people want to get up and sing or tap dance or whatever they do. Why not?"
I like it. I think as we plan that event, that's something to communicate so that people know that that's going to be a part of it, and we can maybe get people to pre-sign up that are
Yes.
interested, and kind of, you know, I don't know how complicated that gets as far as people bring their own amps and all that sort of stuff,
Oh,
or you
yeah,
have one and they
yeah,
have to
well,
switch out. You know,
yeah.
that's a whole nother level of
Yeah,
complication and
yeah.
something that I'm not very versed in, but
Right.
yeah,
Well,
different level of planning so they can all be set up and
yeah.
have what they need.
Well, we would need an MC.
I know we have somebody that's
Yeah.
pretty good at that.
I think we have a lot of MCs in this church.
Do we have a tentative date?
Sometime around Cinco de Mayo.
Okay.
So that was the thought. Maybe after the Saturday after Cinco de Mayo,
Okay.
So
May.
very first part of May.
very first part of May, hoping the temperature will be good and that kind of thing. You know. But we're going to have to wrestle with Dan and get him in here at our next meeting to nail things down. As you know, you said earlier, we got to work on communications. Anything else on that right now? Thanks for your input. That was a good idea.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
This is like supposed to be like a Saturday afternoon? Is that the idea? Or
Probably Saturday afternoon into the evening, something like that, I would imagine. Not late, but, you know. Once again, I'll get Dan to come
make
to our
it
next meeting. and-
Mid-May, that parking lot, the afternoon can
Mhm.
become an oven.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
All that needs to be worked out.
Yeah.
I mean, you
You
know.
could pull it up on the lawn part of that
Yeah, you know,
building
back
over
there, like we,
Yeah.
yeah,
As
that
far
was
as
really
where the
nice.
people are for the most part.
Up on that grass, remember behind our little barbecue pit, Robert?
Mhm.
That area up there, I mean, it's not used, it's got all the trees and everything up there.
Are you talking about up where we used to have Fiesta?
Yeah, you know, when you,
Between the-
when you come into our parking lot on the back here and you have the handicap and visitor parking, it's that area back just to the left of that where all it's grass and
You're talking about the
Trees.
garden?
I believe so, yeah, that
Yeah.
area.
Okay.
So it's back behind you're talking about right here.
No,
So back
Between
there
the
is
two
over here.
buildings, between
Yeah.
the CDC and the day school, basically,
It's
in between,
that's-
or the,
That's the
Yeah,
best
back
place.
that area.
Opposite the gazebo there.
yes.
yeah.
yes.
So, you know, one thing we have is a room. You know, we got plenty of room
Yeah,
here,
7
guys.
acres.
Indoors or outdoors, we got
Yeah.
room.
I know the reason Dan wanted to have it out in the
Oh,
parking lot. Son.
visibility.
He
Yeah.
thought
Visibility,
the
exactly.
activity would draw people
Sure.
because they would see it,
Yes.
see the lights or whatever, and just come spontaneously, even
Right.
if the event wasn't well advertised, because it was supposed to be a community thing.
Right, right. Yeah, and if you do that, I think you just have to start later and maybe have like a 6 or 6:30 start time when it starts to cool off a little
Yeah.
bit. Because you're right, until about 4 o'clock, it's probably going to be pretty warm.
Pretty warm.
Then it'll start, but that
Yeah.
retains heat and yeah.
Yeah, fish.
Like if you want to have it on the asphalt, you have to
Right.
remember that if you're going to move it into have something out there to attract attention, but then
Yeah.
the main activity is on the grass or in and around that area. Gazebo
Maybe you
area,
have the
then
barbecue
that's
out where
different.
people can see it,
Where
but
you
you have
see
the
it,
music
smell
back
it.
up a little bit.
Yeah,
out of
right.
yeah.
Put the barbecue pit out there and the food and everybody in the back in the
Yeah.
shade. Okay. We good on that for right now?
Mhm.
That's about as far as we can take it. You've done much of your helping hands. Do you have others? Something else?
I mean, as far as update for folks, I mean the biggest thing as far as just I don't know blessings or positive is that we've really had good, I guess, volunteer activity. We haven't had much to actually, you know, I will talk about the one opportunity we've had so far to help someone, but as we've started to roll this out, we have a very strong group of volunteers. I have 12 men that have basically said, raised their hand and said, as you have opportunities, I'm here to help. And the way we have it right now is I know the zip codes that each of the men are in, and my thought process is as we have things that don't take a lot of time, I'd say 30 minutes to an hour that need to be knocked out, then I reach out. My plan is to reach out to someone close to the need and then get that person plugged in or multiple people if necessary. The one opportunity that we've had and how it worked out, which was great, is Deb Young, which I did not know Deb until she actually Pastor G reached out to me and said, "Hey Chris, just finished visiting with Deb Young. She has volunteered or been a part of our church for many years. She was a very integral part of the Meals on Wheels program here at the church, but she just recently had surgery on her hip. At the same time she had surgery on her hip, she had some construction done in her house, and she needs somebody to come just move some furniture, put some pictures and paintings back on the wall, and help her with some things that were disrupted in her home. So I went out to look at it to see, can I do this by myself? Do I need someone else? And once I saw what she needed, I reached out to Mike Poole because he was close by geographically, and the two of us went out, I think Sunday before last, I can't remember, but went out in the afternoon and spent about an hour there, helped her. She was very appreciative. I think it's just a good example of how, the program can work. But that's really our only and first opportunity to help someone. That being said, as I was coming in today, I saw someone, Sally Williams, and she and I had to talk about something different. But while we were visiting, Marcia came up and said, "Hey, you asked me if you could speak to the Colonial Classics. Looks like Mayo work." And then Sally's like, "Oh, by the way, I was thinking about reaching out to you because Mac really doesn't need to be up on a ladder, and it's that time of year that we usually, pay somebody to come out and clean the gutters. Would you and somebody come out and clean the gutters, and we'll actually, whatever we would pay somebody else, we'll pay to you so you can have for the program." So I'll follow up with her and I'll get someone to help me with that. But all that said, it's kind of a slow start. I'm very happy about the volunteers, but we haven't found as many opportunities to, serve, but I think those are going to come along over
They
time.
will.
So,
Yeah.
Once you
and
get
I don't want to
going
get
on-
overwhelmed either.
No.
So I'm happy you're starting slow. Yeah.
The guardrails that you need in place, and we had discussed that initially when you first brought this
Right.
up, Chris. You will get lots of people interested. Once the word gets out, it'll be a tsunami of projects that could possibly be worked on. So don't fear.
Yeah.
It's just, oh, you can help. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Well, a lot of this process that we're going through, whether it be the meeting or the helping hands, it's a matter of hanging in there and keep plugging away. Go ahead.
I was just going to let you know I had a question.
Sure, go ahead.
What my experience over the years in my professional life is if you go in somebody's house to do anything, once you step on the property, you got to be really careful. Do we have any insurance or anything that we can use, or? 'Cause I'd hate somebody something to happen and
Sure.
a lawsuit.
We might need to reach along that line, reach out to Landon.
Yeah.
And I am fairly sure that the church has a umbrella policy of some kind, which includes coverage of volunteers while they're doing stuff for the church.
Right.
Find out if that is only
Landed
on
the
church
thing.
grounds, or if it would extend.
Yeah.
Because this is
I've got the policy at home.
Do you?
Yeah,
Okay.
for the church.
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Oh,
spoke
okay.
to Landon about it, and his opinion was that we're covered. Do you have something different in the policy?
I don't know about this,
Okay.
an umbrella policy.
All right.
We're covered on what we usually do.
Yeah.
Umbrella, liability buildings.
Yeah, I was
Property
asking him
damage.
about the parking lot. If we're going to be out there barbecuing and all, does it?
Yeah, see, that's, but.
I understand, that's
what
property.
you brought up, there's personal issues.
Right.
If you stub your toe, if you're gonna get up and clean someone's gutters, that's a whole new host of potential problem with ladders and such.
Right.
But you have personal issues, but then you have professional issues that you mentioned. You step on someone's property, and what if something doesn't go right?
Right.
Because if you're there representing the church, then you're putting potential. If something goes
Right.
really sideways, the issues immediately come back to fall upon the church.
Well,
which
part
is,
part of that is why I'm glad Chris is sort of leading this thing. Chris goes out and takes a look, and I believe he's got the experience and the judgment to determine, is this something we can do? Is this something we can't do?
Right.
And I would believe he has, the church and responsibility of the church at very upper in his mind. So,
That's a big
Well, I'm
part
just
of why
saying,
we.
there's people that are appreciative of the help, but that only goes in so far as if you're hanging a picture on someone's wall and all of a sudden you crack the plaster, okay, because you put the nail in with a little bit too much, and now you've got repainting and replastering to do, and if that isn't right, then you've got someone who's upset, and that snowballs and snowballs.
Sure.
Yeah, my suggestion
So,
here is this.
At some point, you end up having to show up with a 3-page, not non-disclosure, but
yeah, I know what you're
indemnity,
talking
waivers.
about.
a
Right.
waiver and stuff like this.
Yeah.
And that, okay, sign this, 3 pages of,
Yeah.
of legal stuff, which is a.
And I think that's why we've
put off.
been very intentional so far to keep it simple and
Right.
like keep it simple.
Right.
Like, hey, we're just helping hands, in that we're here to help you with the things you can't reach, or to move this and not do.
Right.
We backed it away from electrical and plumbing and things like that. So we're trying to limit it to things where there's not a very high likelihood that we could create problems that they see that we created a problem. And then I don't know, like, if some of your concern is like, what if a volunteer hurts themselves on their property or whatever. I think part of that would be covered by their insurance, but I don't know. And we can research that more. Is like, what happens if a volunteer's like not on our property but out volunteering somewhere else, and they hurt themselves or whatever. But again, keeping it simple, I think, mitigates a lot of that. That we're
Yeah.
not really trying. We're trying to only do things inside the home. Although I know I told Sally we would help with the gutters, which, but we're trying to focus on things inside the home and just keep it simple to get started. And if something that needed and this was, I think, Robert's suggestion, but needed a plumber, electrician, something like that. Over time, we find somebody to refer that to, someone that's licensed, someone's bonded. So I'll do my best to mitigate that, but I mean, they're fair concerns, and we do need to be cognizant that we don't want to get ourselves and the church into a bad spot.
Okay.
There are 2 things. First and foremost, you just identified one, which is to be very, very conscious and very aware, direct on what it is that we'll be doing, and keep it simple is exactly right. It's don't get into
There's plenty of simple things we can do, right?
The cleaning the gutters on a 3-story building probably isn't going to be something that we'd really be interested in. But all joking aside, there it's like the common sense. It's like, no, I'm not going to
Right.
get up on a ladder
Exactly.
and go 3 stories up in the air.
Right.
And I won't do that. I won't.
Right.
But the other part of it is, you're right. Disclaimer of liability, having something very simple for people to sign, is wise, especially in a litigious society as it is today. Just very simple. It doesn't have to be 3 pages. It could be 1 page. Say, look,
Right.
we're willing to do this. We are going to exercise our judgment and discretion on what projects we will be, endeavoring to complete. That said, we understand that it is a litigious society, and we do need to protect ourselves and the church, and that's the reason everyone across the board needs to sign this. Just 1 page, very easy. Look, don't sue us,
Well,
and we can go from there. But
Yeah.
it shouldn't have to be really difficult, and it shouldn't scare people away.
no. If you don't mind,
can-
I can get my wife to draft that.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Just something needs to say
Oh, yeah.
that, we're there to help.
We're
The
volunteers.
the
we're not
person, the
professionals.
homeowner has requested
Yeah. Well,
us to help them with something,
Invite it
okay? And so while we're there, it's understood that, one, this is a personal thing, not related to the church.
right.
Okay, the church is in no way involved. Okay,
Well-
it was anything. Okay,
Yeah.
and make it so that it's it's understood, what we can do. And you mentioned cleaning gutters. All it takes is leaning a ladder against someone's gutter if you don't have the right kind of ladder, the right type of support at the top, and you've bent their gutter.
Well, I'll
And
tell you
no
what.
longer-
yeah.
And it no longer drains.
Well, we sort of beat this to death now.
Anyway,
You'll go out and, of course, make some determinations. I mean, if you want, I can get Liz to do a draft. She's been an attorney for 40 years. I'm sure she could do something for us.
that'd
We
be a
can
good
take a
idea.
look at it,
Sure.
we'll let you guys take a look at it and give it your blessings. And what we have to try, I don't want to be careless, but I want us to try to overcome obstacles. I want us to figure out how we do this correctly and safely
And still help people, yeah, sure.
and still help folks.
Sure.
Okay, one other thing, if there's nothing else on that issue, we have to mention that there are elections coming up, and they're yearly, and oh boy, let me see. Okay, so nominations can be taken, and I didn't put it on here, I apologize, but if you want to nominate yourself, you can do that. I was already asked about it, so yes, you can. So if you have a desire to lead, if you have someone you think would be a good leader, certainly we're open to that. And the 19th is when we'll probably vote on that. And we're sort of tied in here with a real tight schedule, guys. Nate got hold of me last week, and they want to give the scholarship money out on the 26th of June. They want the cutoff for scholarships to be the 18th, which is a Saturday, and they want us to review them the 19th. So at the meeting, our next meeting on the 19th, we'll be reviewing scholarships and we'll be electing leaders. And they will be the only two items.
So, talking about reviewing the scholarships on the 19th.
Yes.
Of April.
Sir.
Okay, I thought I heard you say June. Okay.
Well, I may, yeah, it's pretty strange. The 26th, I believe, of June is when they're going to actually hand out the scholarships.
Okay.
They're having like a senior, I know this because I have one, but they're having like a senior, what do we call it? Senior Sunday.
See, yes,
They're having
right.
a senior Sunday,
Yes.
and so that's the day on the 26th is senior Sunday.
Right.
So that's what he's signing.
26th of May.
I think June.
I believe it's
They
June.
just
Hang on,
announced
I just-
today something senior something, and it was really quick.
Yeah, let me look here. I just got an email on it the other day, but
Okay.
let me take a look while y'all are talking.
You know?
No,
No.
no, I'm sorry, I don't.
Here it is right here, senior Sunday. Oh no, April 26th.
April, okay.
That's Senior Sunday.
April
Yeah.
26th.
There you
senior
go.
Sunday.
That makes
That
sense.
makes more sense.
Yeah. So
Okay,
they,
that's when we want to hand out the
The
money.
Is that the idea?
right,
Mhm.
in a service at the church, 11:30 service, I believe, is when we hand out the checks. The
April.
18th, prior to that, is the cutoff, and the 19th is Sunday, is when we'll review them. Now, as I understand it, there's possibly a total of 7 applicants. Thank goodness, we have a pretty healthy scholarship fund. We have $3,100 in there right now, and that does not include the $1,000 that we're getting from the sewers and
The
weavers.
quilters? The quilters?
The quilters, yes. So we'll have about $4,000 in the scholarship fund. So we can certainly do what we need to do there, which makes it nice. And I'm sorry for that to be a last minute thing, but as we've
So,
discussed,
do we know how many graduating seniors we have yet?
there could be 7
7
seniors possible.
Okay.
Big class. Big class.
Yeah.
7.
Okay.
Right. And that's why I was saying it's good we have the $4,000 in the scholarship fund. So I apologize for the short notice, but it just,
Yeah.
I mean, I just got the email from Nate, so that's where we're at.
Well, that's $3,500. If we certainly cover it, it does drain the fund, but we certainly cover it.
If everybody qualifies and we think it's a good, prove it, yeah, we could cover
Mm-hmm.
$3,500. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'm happy to tell you that. Okay. Any thoughts or anything on that, gentlemen? It's going to be a big meeting, the next meeting. Officers and scholarships.
Gotcha.
And I
Okay.
appreciate it if you get out there and put a buzz in the men's ears.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else, men, on that one? Ted, anything? All right, youth breakfast, first Sunday of the month. A long time ago, we lined things up. Chris, you were on the 5th. Are you still okay
I'm
with
still
that?
good. I'm good for that. Yeah.
Anyone now? When we talk about a breakfast, normally, I mean, some folks take donuts and some folks take tacos, and nothing huge and nothing major. The kids got plenty to eat over there, believe me. So we do it and we take it over. It's the first Sunday of every month. If you guys want to participate in it, fine. Let me know, sign up. If not, I'm sure, between Larry and myself and Charles and some of the some of the guys that aren't here will be able to fill some spots. So just let me know, and y'all have my phone and my emails. All right, gentlemen, any thoughts that we didn't cover or anything you'd like to cover? One thing we always need to think about and pray about is membership. How do we get more men to show up in this 1 hour a month?
I noticed it didn't get announced. Our meeting did not get announced. And so that probably would help.
Yeah.
The announcement of the meeting of 1 or 2 Sundays and upcoming events were not listed. And because now we got the meeting, we got the Zoom, and we have the recordings available for people to go back and look on the YouTube channel. So that's 3 ways to participate directly in the meetings, and none of this is being announced.
Well, when I talked to Landon about that, he showed me that on that newsletter they send out, down at the very bottom, there is a notice of our meetings.
There is, okay.
Well, sometimes. It's not all the time. And I think at the 11:30 service, the best the way to get it over is with Beth Danes. Beth does a wonderful job at the 11:30 service.
11 o'clock, yeah.
I'm sorry,
She
11.
announces at the 8:45 service also. She can do it both times,
Yes.
as long as we get her the information.
I will do that. She's very cooperative. So
The other thing is there's a Friday email blast every Friday that Mary Jane does, and so
Okay.
depending on the timing, if she could put it in there on her email blast, where she just kind of highlights these are the things
that-
going on
Yeah.
at the church.
Is that Mary Jane or Landon? One of the two.
think it's Mary Jane.
Mary Jane does one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Landon, but Mary Jane does one. That's a good idea. I hadn't thought about that. She's very cooperative.
May I make a suggestion? as
Sure.
well? One of the things that I've noticed, especially throughout my life, is the direct approach. What you all are talking about is indirect, which is having someone get up in front and saying stuff and having it on a newsletter. There's no guarantee that people will actually read the newsletter. And that's not being harsh, it's being realistic. If I get a piece of paper, you know how much paper I get? I get an awful lot of stuff. I'm bombarded with stuff. I have this issue with work. I have 800 emails that I get at any given time, and sifting through them becomes somewhat of a nightmare. Nevertheless, I've found in my life that direct approach is something that works very well. It's hard to say no to someone when they're standing in front of you. It could be anything. One of the things that I do like is the fact that you all have, we all have these shirts.
That's
My
right.
strongest
Thank
suggestion
you
is
for
to
wearing it.
wear them. Wear them. Talk to people in service.
Right.
Talk to people there. Tell them about what it is that we're all about. Helping people, encouraging them to participate in whatever way they can. Because that's what the church is all about. The church isn't a building. The church is the community. So, my suggestion again is be visible, talk to people, be direct. And that is going to pay the most dividends if you want people to participate and be a part of it and build their own, enrich their own lives. That's how you do it.
We agree on that, I think.
I agree. Mine's at the dry cleaners, unfortunately.
Well,
but
it's all right. But I understand what you're
I
saying.
may have to get a backup shirt from you. Pay for a backup.
We can do all that, believe me. You're more than welcome to come all the time, Mark. We appreciate your input.
Sure.
Love to have you here. It would be great. Is there anything else, gentlemen, or I'll end this? And remember the 19th for the next meeting. And I'll end it by, I've got a little prayer I say every day. And some days I have to say it 3 or 4 times. Thank you, Lord, for everything that you have given me. Thank you, Lord, for everything that you have taken from me. And thank you, Lord, for all that you have left me. Amen.
Chris, if there's something I can do with Helping Hands, you let me know.
Oh.
You put me on the group.
There you
Okay.
go.
Okay.
Sign him up.
Age appropriate.
Sure.
Okay, but sure,
You're available.
I'm available to help.
Okay. What zip code are you in? Just so I know where.
This zip code.
Right here. Okay.
I live just if you go north on Vance Jackson, the other side of Wurzbach,
Okay.
right across from the Coney Library
Okay.
on Wall Street.
Old
Got
Cody Library.
Yeah.
Okay.
My
Thank
daddy
you.
built that thing.
You've got my contact phone number and all
That was
that.
I will make sure
My dad-
I'll get it.
Thank you,
Mine.
gentlemen.
I'll get it.
Write the
All right.
cell number down.
What's
Yes,
your
sir.
name?
What is it? Go
Nothing,
ahead.
I was,
Okay.
210
make sure I got all my stuff.
213 8232. Had that for 45 years. Ever since that cell phone service started.
Nice.
Do you have my
That's
number,
before
Chris?
Southwestern Bell.
I don't. Mark, go ahead and get that.
It's 210-643-3544.
Oh.
Mark. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna start coming